Sony. Good morning. How's time? How's everything? I don't know. I mean, you woke up 2 hours ago. So I don't know. It is a waking up moment, these types of situations. God dang. Uh oh golly. Oh, we have no news and some news, and the news is not that good. No, I know. I'm just saying that usually you wake up around, I mean, not usually, but last time you woke up at like 5, 4, maybe. So that's a different time zone. That is a different thing. And I don't, uh, what's the fucking word? I don't equate? That's not, oh, good job, 200. I don't equate the wake up time to Discord status. That is not what happens. It is not. That more centered? I feel like that's more centered in terms of chat placement. It's still broken though, but you know, that's better. You don't know. Uh, yeah, yeah. Reverse ash as always. Good job, good job. Good thing. We have some half good news, some good news, some news that could happen. We've had a video popped on YouTube, which is a highlight of past streams. I wish I took the whole thing. Basically, what I did is I downloaded, like, didn't download, but like I went in, which the highlight thing, I highlighted the segment and then uh did that. Well, basically, your logo was at the 3 seconds at the end. I basically imported it, applied the style, and then Ollie came in the chat and we started moving on to something else. So, it's different. But that happens. That happens. But yeah. So that happens. That has been Denny. Hi, welcome in. This has been posted on YouTube, which is pretty good. It has little amount of views. There has been some requests about it when I kind of showcased the image in the in threads. That's pretty good. And yeah. Other than that, that happened in a way that is different, but I've been featured as the best French-speaking freelancer tutor to hire in 2025, and the best French-speaking freelance visual system designer to hire in 2025, and the best freelance brand designer in Japan, obviously, in 2025. So I've been featured in 3 categories in Contra, which is pretty nice. Knowing that I have not signed up on the platform in almost a year. But I've been featured. I don't think it will bring anything to me anyways, but it's I have 3 featuring things, and that's pretty good. Cybersect, hi, welcome in. How are you? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I have watched a video on YouTube, obviously, about some sort of system for iOS, which was really interesting. I'm guessing if I'm not explaining that to Sony, you know, but like it's structure concurrency in SwiftUI, and it had some really interesting concept that I didn't really grasp earlier, and now that I understand them a bit better, mainly because of the example they had in there being like mostly um, thumbnails related, and I'm trying to do the same thing on the app. That spoke to me. So maybe, I doubt it, but maybe I will have some updates of the code on my own using these things. This is from 2021, so probably the AI is already using things similarly, but at least I have a better understanding and a greater understanding of what has been made in the code. So that's pretty good. I also didn't know that this person had a YouTube channel, which is pretty good because I follow them on TikTok and Instagram, and now they have a YouTube, so I can also listen to them speak in Japanese, which is the point, which is really good. But yeah, that thing happened, which was pretty nice. What else? Not much, to be honest. Not much. YouTube has been kind of dry, though. I mean, this has happened, which is really good, but you know. Um, yeah, other than that, there has been things like I have had an MRI yesterday, and sadly, everything is good, so I'm gonna live longer. God damn it. Uh, we'll see. We'll see. It seems, at least for now, based on the imaging, everything seems to be pretty good. I have no changes. So, good news, I think. Um, what else? I'm broke. I decided to drop 250 bucks on hair products and cosmetics. Don't ask. It happened. And yeah, um, that's about it. I've been doing other things that is not disclosed yet. It's been in the work for the past months, but you don't know about it, so that happens. We have one of the stories that is going to be making some of the devs interested. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I have been rejected from a job position today, which is really good because now I can explain what happened. I applied to this position thinking that I had the skills, at least, to be selected. I was right. I got selected. I passed the first interview. I passed the second interview. And I went into the third interview. And after the third interview, they said, well, we have someone else that is a bit better than you. So we are moving on with the others. Good. Good. Cat. Hi. Welcome on. And so the job in question was senior technical project manager. The fact that I went through 4 of the 5 meetings of the interview process is already pretty impressive. I had to explain and create a data model to ingest data, basically make sure that everything was working properly, sanitize the data, and then output it to dashboards and BIs to make sure that everything works, plan basically how things would work for the team, and create some sort of a roadmap for scalability and talk to the stakeholders. That was the at-home assignment that I did and passed this at-home assignment, I got the next stage, meaning that my technical skills are on par or a bit lower than a senior technical project manager, which is pretty impressive, and that the resume that I have could work for not a senior but just a technical project manager. Meaning, I have all the dev skills I need to move forward, which is really sad for the devs in the chat. But I do. I have enough understanding of anything that needs to happen to be able to communicate in between all the teams, including stakeholders and dev, and make sure that the roadmap is on point and precise to move forward. So that's good news for me. That's kind of ego boosting and also technical skill boosting in terms of I can allow myself to apply to different types of jobs that isn't something that I did before. That's pretty good. But I'm really impressed by the fact that I had 4 out of 5 interviews passed, and just from 4 to 5, they said kind of no. But yeah, the chat that I had with the technical engineer on the back end last month, I forgot. Wednesday? You know what? I forgot. Refused. Hi, welcome back. That was pretty good. He really understood things that I was saying. I understood what he was saying, which was really good. But also at the beginning, I gonna put in place or reassured them that I do not have the technical skills. I just have the project manager skills in product design for a long time, and therefore I can communicate with the devs. And I think that's the issue. He had a question of if there is a close deadline that happens to, like, someone is missing, sick, parental leave, accident, something, how would we ensure that the deadline is still met? And basically what I said is, well, we can hire someone else if necessary, but that's going to take more time. If someone else in the team can do the work, well, we can put them on their work, on the part of the person that is not there now. But I think what they were expecting was, well, I can take over if necessary, which is not my case. So I think that's the reason why I kind of went out. But yeah, that is interesting. Interesting. That's almost everything from the job market. I've received 5 rejections this week. 3 of them were from companies that I absolutely forgot that I applied to these companies. So it's been more than a month that I applied to them. And yeah, other than that, things are in the work, which is good. Yes, rejection through emails, as always, non-direct. That doesn't really happen. But also, again, I'm extremely picky, and I'm not applying to anything either, but like the specifics. You can't combine them. God, that's gonna break everything. I mean, you can combine them, but that was, you know. Yeah, but you lose the effect. Like, you lose the colors of the glitch, which is the point of the glitch, you know. But to answer your question at the beginning, the chat is working today because I redid the entire URL thing before I started the stream. So it was kind of preloaded when I started. So yeah, 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 yeah. That's a thing. Yeah, other than that, If you have an iPhone and you have Can on your iPhone, I would love to know if the latest version of Can has multiple, um, like if the what's new in in this version is always showing up when you launch the app. I would love to know that because it seemed that it was the case. I didn't launch or send a new version because I'm not sure. But yeah, if you know, I would love to. I would. Yeah, if you have the app, I would love to know. Please let me know. That's what I will say. That is what I would say. Um, what happened? Nothing happened. That's crazy. I've been doing so much things in terms of um, project number 2, which you don't know about. You kind of know about, but you don't know about. You've heard about it. And yeah, yesterday I've been doing a lot of things which involved a lot of writing, which is pissing me off. But yeah, damn, it happened. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. Okay. It is gonna be okay. Danny, you like game design lately, or UI game design? I agree. Um, Game UI is really cool. I I really like most of the thing that is there. The main reason that I would say regular designers, the landing page designers, app designers uh, get interested into game design is mostly because it's not a grid. And it's a bit more interesting. I don't like what Ogres has done though. Um, like it's too cliche for me. And I also think that what he did was mostly um, Figma based, which is really bad. Like these are again looking really cool. I agree. Like probably Rive and Figma based things, but this is the most cliche thing you can have for a sci-fi futuristic project. But like, yeah. I mean, whole everything he does is mostly the same for me right now, or since the beginning. It has been like really basic cliche thing that we have seen in games since 2010. Uh, like some of the first Halo games had similar UIs, and like not Far Cry, Crisis is a similar type of game UI. What the fuck is that? Uh, I don't want to see your dick right there. So it to me it's debatable. I don't think it's good. I really think it is again cliche. Like this is kind of the same thing. It's not the same, but it has the same corners with the highlights border underneath, kind of elements that are floating in. If you go into, I think it's, I don't think it's Watchdog. Watchdog has something similar. Um, can I fucking search? Like, you see this? This HUD right there? And what he had right here, to me, it's the same. Like, it's the same concept. There's the bitch, get the fuck out. Sorry. But, like, most of the design that we have here, or if I'm going into, who has, I don't want to go Cyberpunk, but Cyberpunk is going to work as well. Obviously. Like that UI. Like that's the same. So that's why I'm saying it is cliche and it's really overused. And it would, in my head, again, make way more sense to have done that inside of a game design tool like Unity or Unreal Engine to have kind of the assets all done. But I mean, I get it. If you want to do that in Figma, do it. I think it's a mix. Again, I think it's a mix of Rive and Figma. Um, yeah, I mean that's why I'm kind of looking at these um, different games, which are not necessarily the same, but most of the elements that are going to be interesting usually are going to be the menus and all of the thing that happens in the skill points, skill tree views, some of the weapon carrying things are a bit more interesting. Like, um, not dang. Like anything in menus here or here, for example, this is like more creative and more interesting than boxy thing. It's still boxy inside, obviously, for ease of dev, but I mean, even if it wasn't boxy looking, it would still be box. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't think Ogres has done this in After Effects though. I feel like it's mostly like a Rive thing plus something else. But yeah, like this is a bit more creative, but again, it is boxy. Like this is a square, a square, a square that just has different backgrounds compared to regular elements. But yeah, a nonetheless, my point remains. I do agree that game design is pretty interesting, and if you are coming from some places that are mostly dashboards and apps, going into games is mostly appealing because it is different and it allows you to do and create things that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do such thing before. Um, Mainly on the shapes. Like it's you probably wouldn't do a menu like this in a regular app. Probably. But you might do this. There's a transition in between the two, which debatable. Debatable. But yeah. I'd say I agree with the latest games are boxy and kind of flattened, I'd say. Um, at least on mobile, there is less and less crafted games. Yeah, like it's still really classic. It's just like if you as soon as you remove the illustration, you're like, yeah, that's the same thing as usual. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've seen any really groundbreaking UIs since Flash. I feel like Flash has been, yeah, moved into very flat overall apps. Like this might be a bit different and interesting, but yeah, 'cause, 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 ' Maybe I'm old. I guess I'm gonna say that. I guess I'm old. Um, yeah, I mean, Prince of Persia is a game, so there is a game mechanic behind it that is not necessarily something that you see on apps called. Fruit Ninja is very, very simple. I don't even think they have previews. Yeah. Um, they do. If you find a, do we have an in-game thing? Yes. If you look at it without the background, the UI is really, really simple. You have points, lives, pose, and then you just need to slash things. I don't remember if the background get the slash when you slash. That sounds really weird. No, they are the same. So yeah. Eh. um, like the custom thing is mainly the font. If you go back in the menu, it's really flat. I mean, really flat. It's really boxy and squares. Like these buttons, bitch. These buttons are aligned with what we would do today in terms of adding some distance and textures to the buttons themselves. So yeah, I guess the only thing that we wouldn't do is this best value elements and the banner at the top. But yeah, other than the tiny dent right there and the look of the buttons, if you just do that in a UX wireframe, it's the same as usual. Like there is not much difference compared to current games, other than the font is different, there is some textures, and the buttons are textured. Yeah, again, I don't think that. I mean, I think I'm old. I'm gonna say that right there. I really think I am. I feel like I'm old and bored and nothing surprised me anymore. Ah, oh, the thumbnail doesn't load, so that doesn't help. You mean there? Yeah, no, that's tiny. That's tiny. Yeah, that's a bit different, but not that much. Not that much. I mean, we can't really do anything. The way that code has been defined since the beginning is just blocks and squares and boxes. But it makes sense. It's kind of the same. It's just like how you want to re-render content on the screen. But yeah. Eh, it's pretty interesting. I don't I didn't have this one. My sister had this one though. The red version. That Nokia phone. So yeah. You think you were 8 in 2006? I was 12. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't know. Nonetheless, I do think that going into games would be pretty interesting. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it's a good idea. And also, I mean, I don't know the plan for you right now, where you are, and when things are gonna happen. But you know, yeah, 2006. You probably just graduated in 2006. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, yeah, Hillfort is really good as well. If you want to learn about, I need to do that. If you want to learn about like game design and all of that, um, it'd be good. You were 28 in 2006. God dang, old ass man. Ah. So I think in my head right now. Um, it's yeah. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. Today's gonna be a weird one. It again. It is officially a review day, so if you have anything to review, feel free to share. I would love to take a look at things. But yeah. Ah, I'm gonna have to mute this conversation again. God damn. These bitches just want to send messages when I stream. Get the fuck out. Sorry. My Japanese class for tomorrow is just at 7 for the next day. They ask what is the homework that we need to do, and if we have plan or if we know stuff. It's just, it's a pain. It is a pain. What did I just say? Oh, and that doesn't work now, bitch. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that works. I think months don't really have a high level plan right now. Now recover from all these years of grind and enjoy the work. Yes. I think I think the current state of enjoy the work comes in shit like this, where designers go into game design like illustration and content. So adding some nice visuals is the work and the thing. Like these elements of simple but yet really crafted and enjoyable illustration is pretty good. All the thing you've done for Bland in terms of the landing page is kind of similar, but that's about it. The rest of the work is really much the same and not that entertaining on the day to day. So you might do something like that at some point, but that's not usually not the best option. Eh, but I get it. I get it. I mean, I see the burnout potential. I've been on many things in the past for just saying like, you know, working on stuff for so long that now I'm like, I don't know what to do, which is true. I don't know what to do. And I kind of do. It's complicated. It is complicated. But yeah, other than these French shout outs that I got, which is kind of bad, but whatever, um, nothing happened. I've just been doing stuff you don't know. It pisses me off that I can't really talk about it. I can't. I don't want to. But yeah. Also, the Patreon stuff, I don't remember. Did you take February and not March? No, you didn't take February and your March reactivated on the 23rd, right? So now you have February and March combined. I think. That seems to be what my head is telling me. Am I right? Am I right on that? Probably am. Probably am. Yeah, we have really nothing. Yeah, good. What do you mean you want to pay me? Why you want to pay me? You want to hire me? Cool, 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 cool. Do that, do that. Yeah, my brain is really all over the place right now. So many things. So many things. I saved nothing new on Twitter. I have like nothing. I saved stuff on Xiaohongshu again, but that's not necessarily something I can share here for obvious reasons. Like, let me see if I can just find that quickly. There has been like some new things that popped in. Yeah, you probably will. Again, if you are in this side of that country, it's currently 2 in the afternoon, so you should be able to access. That's probably an option. I can't find the thing again. God damn it. I guess this could work if it can load. Yeah. Oh, god damn it. I found these, which were pretty interesting of a concept. Again, not necessarily something that is practical, but in terms of bringing some inspiration to your head and having a different view on stuff. This is a curved ceiling, and they basically added a curved top of the door while retaining a very square door. Compared to this one, for example, which is really flat, but this is an interesting design choice. Not necessarily a good design choice, but still an interesting design choice to have, and it kind of fits the whole aesthetic of that enclosure corridor thing in a way that makes it feel different. And from the inspiration point of view that I was talking about, when I've been talking about for a long time, this is the type of shit that I kind of want you as a designer to get inspired by, because it is different to, or in a way that is not that disruptive from the rest of the home, but also you can implement these in apps in a way that is not as disruptive. So I think we've talked about that before in terms of Yes, in terms of inner content. Let me see if I have like a bit of a blob for that. At some point, probably have. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. It's the dog one that I'm looking for, that we kind of talked about last time. What is in the view? It's supposed to be in the view. I'm supposed to have liked the thing. I'm not finding it. Ah. I guess this would be an option, potential. Like shit like this, it's not much. It doesn't take a lot of effort to achieve. It does, a tad. It's a bit more complicated than just a native bottom sheet. But having that teeny tiny amount of thing that just blends in with the background, or that container that is like a selector, which is basically what I've done, or other things like these elements that are like organic blobs connected together. These are interesting in terms of UI and changes, and that could be inspired by that door that I just shared, because it's just a different version of the content. Like this as well could potentially be the same. It's just instead of having the icon inside of the white section, they decided to blob out and push the white section in an organic way to get this weird ass shape. And it works. It's fun. It's not practical, but it's fun. And that is and going to be something that is memorable. So going back to the door thing, kind of the same idea. It's just it's so different and uncommon that people would just remember that it existed. Like that that curved stuff right there. Details. So that I mean, to me that's a thing that is pretty important and interesting to have think about. So that, with inspiration, the door, pretty good. The door was pretty good. The other thing that happened is the magnitude 7.7 earthquake in Bangkok earlier today. That was kind of crazy. It's been all over everywhere where buildings have just been fully down and broken, and you probably have seen some of the shakes happening in the past few hours, I guess, if you are on on social medias. But yeah, not really. I think I'm gonna say the same thing as last time. You heard me say that. I said that in many interviews. um, but I don't think it needs to happen. I think it needs to be um, a feature, not an AI feature, if that makes any sense. I know it's marketing and I know it's stakeholder related to ensure that the people that are investing in the company are like getting paid, whatever. But an AI report or an AI summary, after a certain amount of time, it's not necessarily necessary to. It's not necessarily necessary. It is not necessary to remind everyone that it is AI based. It's just a summary. It's just a report, and it's just made by the system. And instead of saying AI is generating your report, you just say generating reports. So I don't think of them as AI feature. I would think of them as new features instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, that's a new AI feature." Just get rid of AI and just say that's a new feature in the app. Maybe in the description of the feature you can say, "Well, we are using AI to do that," but you are basically generating reports. That's it. Or you are analyzing the data. And so we are analyzing the data for you, and the system is taking care of that. You don't need to know that it's AI behind it, I think. Unless there is like laws about disclosing the use of AI and generative AI overall. But uh, another term for AI is machine learning, and another term for machine learning is if else conditional statement. So technically, much more the same. So I think like new feature banners or uh, yeah, upselling cards could be an option. I remember we kind of talked about that before, but like shit like this, for example, which is on the side, this is new, we're currently doing this, like that is what I have in mind in the potential options of just having like a showcase of, oh yeah, there is this new thing, and it's just showcased in a way that is really pretty, but not in your face much. Similarly to that, there is also the also that was kind of the thing that I was talking about earlier. Like this is what happened in Bangkok earlier. I mean, in Thailand earlier today, where basically 7.7 earthquake happened, and building were just weighing a ton. So I wouldn't want to be someone that lives around here just because of how it feels. And when I had an earthquake of 7.7, but on the other side of Japan, it it I felt it, but I wasn't in the building. So yeah, um, yeah, that's the thing. However, this one specifically, which is the one most people have seen so far, the building that is in construction that kind of fell down. I'm sad about the people that died in the building coming down, but I'm happy that the building came down during construction and not when people lived in it. Which I know it's a bit of a debatable stand, but uh, yeah, it's just if the structural integrity of the building is insane to sustain 7.7, which I understand, like that building is already like not finished, and so there might be some supports that haven't been there yet. But it seemed pretty high already, and if it's not sustainably, physically sustaining earthquake, I don't think I would trust it. So yeah, that's crazy. Yes, that building came down. There is like plenty of thing that just fell, broke, like this temple as well. Everything in Asia right now is kind of crazy. Thailand got this today. For the past few weeks now, there has been wildfire in Korea. There have been sinkhole happening in Japan and Korea, kind of simultaneously. And the Philippines have had uh, typhoons and earthquakes in repetitions for the past few months. So that region is kind of under attack from the Earth, which is interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And I don't know. There has been some prediction thing. There is one illustration artist person, I don't know exactly who they are, that had predicted something in 2011. They said something crazy is going to happen, it's going to be a big disaster. And then there has been a big disaster. And they predicted something new in July of June or July of this year. So we'll see if that happens. It's soon-ish. It is soon-ish. That could be interesting to see if that's also a break in Japan. Bitch, I want this to load. Can you show me my own content? Like it's the thing that is made by me. Made by me. Load my content. Ah, these bitches. Well, it's not there. Where do I have this? Where do I have this? It's gonna be. What's this gonna be? In my backups, I guess. I guess. Ah. Nope, not there. Shit like this. I don't know if you remember this, but shit like this could be an option for you as a. This is new, and even though in France I mean, in that company we use smart instead of AI, but that's basically our use of the AI word. It's kind of similar. Um, it- just saying that this is new with a bit of colors might be enough to just showcase how it looks like this is new feature, and that's it. Rather than having like again the entire thing screaming AI everywhere. I, I think people are bored and like fed up with AI everything. So yeah, I would say that all this search just for this. Just for that. These two things. But see, that's about it. That's how I would probably tell you to do something in terms of providing a hint that new features are there and new features are available. In a way that is not disruptive, but still good for the user to understand. Um, I think it's really bad. I understand. And there is no way to stop it. But I think it's really bad. Um, I do appreciate the fact that you said the image generation going on and not the AI art. So good job on that. That's a good step forward. Really good step forward. Um, where it's just like image generation is a good word. The AI art is just so bad because the artistic part is the human touch. Uh, which right now there isn't. However, one of the things that we've seen is that the content that is generated is extremely impressive. Like really, really impressive. Um, and maybe I don't. Let me see if I have it. I doubt it, but I these bitches again. Yeah, that's the point we have. But a lot of people disagree with that and say, well, it's just images anyway, or illustration or things. So, eh, you know, um, I don't know if I liked it because it was pretty insane yesterday. Um, also, that these cheeks, as in that ass right there, was the most bubbly ass I've seen in a long time. Anyways, you keep scrolling. Then you heard nothing, you know nothing. I'm not saying anything. Um, but yeah, it's don't I don't know if I have it. And there is something right in my feed right there, which is kind of what I'm talking about, but it's not that. Um, like basically, someone said, look, it's my art," and someone used their initial illustration as a base to generate something new, and it looked exactly the same. So that was kind of crazy, but also, you know, um, yeah, I think I went too far. I think I went too far on these. Can't find it. Can't find it. Yeah, not there. Um, but yeah, these have been popping up all over, and I'm impressed by the outputs. Like I really think that some of them are really good. The text is really good. The overall like line art is really accurate, and most of the things are good. I do feel like there is something that is fully wrong. Like if you look at it closely, the texture on the shirt, on the background is the same. There's a flatness to it, specifically on this one, where it looks as if it was vectorized and then you applied one of the early Instagram filters, the grunge Instagram filter, on it. But yeah, other than that, don't I don't know. So I think it's going to be really useful. I think I might use it for some things that I don't have like the need of how can I say? Also, I'm looking at this at the same time, and you don't want to see this just yet. Uh, basically, the need for an illustrator. I just need like one teeny tiny illustration because I can't do it myself. I might use it, but I would rather not. And in order for me to hire someone to do the illustration that I need, I have like a backlog of people that I kind of want to hire for some of the illustration that I need. I would need to, first of all, don't be as broke as I am right now, but also have like a bit of a greater range of content. Like I don't want to send them a request for just one thing. I kind of want to send them a request for like 50 thing at once. It's going to cost me like 5K, but you know, at the end of the day, we'll have exactly something or exactly what I needed to have. So that to me is kind of the idea. But yeah, I don't like the generation thing much. But other than that, these or that we talked about earlier, kind of looked at earlier, is the new thing from Figma, which is currently available, which is the contrast ratio checker for the color that you have, and it shows you based on the background if specific color is inside of the range of content that is accessible for a certain amount of contrast ratio, which I would disagree in some situations. Like I think some of them are accessible like already. This one wasn't, that's for sure. This one is pretty cool. It's a nice illustration overall, and like I would have been fine with that, but it's a nice addition. It's a good thing to have. It removes the need for some of the plugins that I already use, which is sad for the creators of the plugins, but this is a really nice presentation. It also showcased the wave thing that I've been talking about for years now, showing that some colors have a greater range of accessibility compared to others based on their luminance and their base value. So the blues are going to be deeper, like blues purple, have a greater range of accessibility. You can have something that is lighter in the background and lighter on top and be fine, but something like a yellow or a green, you're going to be kind of cut halfway really, really fast. But this is good. I kind of feel like these things are hints at changes that will happen at config. So, you know, we'll see. we'll see. But there is like not much. Like this is fine. They now have Spanish, which again to me seems really really weird that they have had Japanese before Spanish. Um, and also it feels really weird that they didn't have multilingual before. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there has been like this whole discussion. One of the things I don't understand is that some people have floating panels still, specifically when they are doing presentations, and we do not. Not because it's like a toggle, but it was reverted for me automatically. But these videos are showcasing floating panels again, so I'm scared that they are going to push back the floating panel on everyone again. Like it's a bad idea. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, this is really good of a new feature. I don't think I have access to it just yet because it's not like, you know, in there, and I haven't reloaded the page, no Figma, so really good thing. But you know, yeah, it makes no sense. So yeah, other than the thing that we kind of worked on last time of like that, maybe it needs to be on flat colors and not that. Do you keep them? You can do that. I mean, if you have two, you can do these. Even more interesting. Specifically, yours are probably like these because they are like wisdom tooth. So badass, flat, unformed, big. Could have done that. You could have done that. Yeah, most of them are. The reason why you remove them is, and you get them on the ring is usually because they are kind of not in a good shape. But yeah, that happens. That happens. You know, it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, to go back to the initial thing, I do think that these image generation are going to be pretty good. Most of the designers that are using it are generating UIs based on either sketches or direct prompts, which is pretty impressive. One person, I don't know if they are trolling. I think they are not. One person has shared a Swift UI code and said generate an image of how this code looks to you, and then it generated the UI based on the code immediately and really accurately. So that one was pretty impressive. I saw that earlier today and still can't find it. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. And yeah, um, yeah, I think overall it's going to be like detrimental to artists, beneficial to project manager and marketing managers. And I don't I do care about it, but not that much. So yeah, it's gonna remove some money from some people's hand, that's for sure. Some artists that were just living off the art they are generating or creating, not generating, um, they would probably lose a lot of their like yeah, a lot of their revenues, which is really bad. But there's nothing that we can really do about it. The only thing that we can do is just hope for the best. And yeah, nonetheless, AI generation for other things, as I said, is different. My thought for these are different. AI generation for code, obviously, I am someone that used that, so I'm biased in that department. But because there is no like style that can happen, like you can't have the code written by Stony, and if you see it in the wild, you know that it's them. That Stony has written this code. If it's just a snippet of a fucking function, you wouldn't necessarily know who wrote it. Whereas if you see something that is like uh, drawn by a specific artist that you kind of know that it's that artist. And if it looks like it, and it's AI generated, that's kind of sad. But for code, I'm kind of not impacted as much. For text, I'm not impacted as much as long as it's not like a full book. Because otherwise, it means that you didn't have enough brain power to write a book, but you still wrote a book. It's different because it's supposed to be creative. But yeah. However, for the AI image generation for UI, it seems okay and pretty impressive so far. So if that can replace me, I would love that. And take a long ass vacation. Ah, but again, I do think that most of the people that are like good at uh, at illustration uh, are gonna take a hit in this for sure. But yeah, I yeah, you know. Like I don't know how this one has been created and how good it is, but the output of this thing is really impressive, and it is apparently using Shadcn for the UI itself. But this is a different style. This is mostly like a D&D style interface, I'd say, and it's just based on colors. So if you are someone that understands how color theory and the psychology of color works, you can 100% get something that is looking a bit dated with a bit of texture and a bit of different color scheme that people are not used to, while still using regular like dashboard cards and segment controls and all that, and still be pretty impressive. So, you know, if that's like an AI generated thing, that could be interesting. But I don't think it is. I just think it's very impressive overall generation here from ChatGPT, but then the implementation, just reusing these elements by someone that knows how to do some CSS, generated something that looked the same. There is no like wobbles around. the lines, which is what would be really good to have, but that's more complex. But yeah, like, I really think that this is something that would be good for first drafts, but also not that good for us as designers. At the end of the day, it will be at some point able to generate an entire UI kit from scratch. It'd be good. And if we can use that, we should be good. I fear that specifically these would result in a lot of people just using sprites again for content. So we'll see. Codrin, hi. Welcome back. How are you? How's everything? It's I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty interesting thing. It still look really bad to me, but that version right here, there is a bit more pastel around there, which is really good. So yeah. Again, it is impressive that there's no denying this. There is most of the things are really good. There is no fading of AI thing in there, and it could have been done by someone that has the skills. But I, you know, but yeah, everything is just filled with AI generated images, AI generated images. God damn, I can't speak. Which is really sad. Like again, I said that on Monday, I think. But my Pinterest being around architecture, there is a ton of architecture things that are not necessarily true. And if I'm looking for hairstyles, for example, which is one of the most like I generated thing, like this is AI, I know that this is AI as well, this is AI as well, this is AI as well, AI, like AI as well. Like it's just I can tell because of how it looks, specifically on the face, but it's just filled with unreal, non-achievable content. It's really bad overall. Like it shouldn't. We shouldn't. And we shouldn't have let that slip because this is not a real person. It's probably a real person in the initial image, but all of the thing that has been retouched, like the hair is really fake, the face structure is not right, the proportion of the neck distance between the jawline and the shoulder is a bit too big for a regular human, and maybe it's coming from that person face right there, which might have been the initial. I don't know. But, it's just like the fact that everything is just generated is such an annoyance because you don't know and you can't know what you could potentially trust and what you could potentially achieve. Hair being one of the most impacted one, at least on my feed. Architecture is the second one, and I'm fearing soon there will be like a lot more stuff. Like my bathroom inspirations have been AI generated for a long time now. Like this is AI generated. This is not. This doesn't exist. Cannot exist. Physically speaking, that cannot exist. And there has been like so many where sometimes it looks so good, and then you look closely and you're like, oh shit, it's not. So yeah, details. I guess there is something that at some point would be able to detect if a content is AI generated and then get something like a Chrome extension to analyze images and blur them or hide them if they are AI generated. But there is, I mean, there is a point where we will not be able to see and have like the, oh yeah, that's definitely generated. So I think there is some or one that I kind of saw earlier today. I don't know if I saved it. It's kind of been a minute. Did I like this thing? It's been like 3 hours at least 3 hours. Don't think I sent it to Cat, so I can't really search for that. Um, Come on, bitch. Come on. Not that. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it again. That sounds like a thing. Kira, hi, welcome on it. Welcome back. I'm searching for the AI generated uh Vogue cover. I don't think I sent it to you. You know what? I'm sure I didn't send it to you. There's a girl that basically did a test uh, of Vogue cover a long time ago, and then she tried it with the new generation, and it's just crazy. But the video itself showcased everything, which is really, really good. So I'm gonna take a look. Maybe. Nope. It was really nice. It's not much. Appreciate you watching the VODs. It's not much, but it kind of works. Yeah, AI vote cover is not gonna work as well. Like that's not what we want. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. That's for sure. Um, that is for sure. Anyways, it looked really good. That's all I'm saying. It looked really, really good, and it really could pass if I didn't pay attention. It could pass my, oh yeah, that's definitely a photograph or something that really existed. So, kind of sad. I am really sad about it. But yeah, on Jiangsu again, there is like a ton of things that are uh, architecture related, AI generated things, which I wouldn't be able to find in here. Wouldn't be my feed there, and ass right there, but that's different. Uh, but basically things like this, where there are videos that seems as if it was like panned. This one is a 3D rendering, obviously, but they have like high drone footage of uh, mansions that are under construction, and if you don't pay attention, it looks like it's a real thing. And if you pay attention, you can see that the workers are just blobs, where sometimes just pop in and out of existence for no reason, and it's kind of it's annoying. It's annoying. I wish I could find it. I can't. It's gonna be complicated. It is going to be complicated. Ah, yeah, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. gonna find that. So, that is also a thing that happens and exists. So, yeah. I think we, as European, US based, non Asian, are going to be kind of blown away by the AI generation stuff that happens on other countries or the AI generation stuff that happens on internally. I am not convinced, but almost convinced that some of the videos that I've watched of Apple could have been AI generated hosts. Like, could. Let me see. Not this one, but doubt this is the one. Maybe this one. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this one was crazy to me. The person that is here, most of the Apple videos are extremely coded, scripted, edited to be as like sterile as possible. There is the least amount of emotions unless the person cannot really do anything other than having some emotion on the take. But when I'm looking at that person right there, sometimes the amount of blinks are way too often. The head movement is almost robotic. The shoulder don't really move. The hands don't move at all. And I get it from a point of view of like editing. This is like really, really useful to have someone that is as static as possible so that you can do cuts in specific elements or specific moments of the video. But it is kind of weird. There's something about it that just, I don't know how to explain it. One of the other thing that I've seen is that some of the previous other videos that I've watched have been or have had multiple people in the video, and in these things, was it observable? Maybe. I doubt it. I don't know. Um, but there was like two hosts in the video, and it really looked like they were not in the same room, and that they have pre-recorded breathing space. Hangs is different. That might be. I'm gonna reopen all the thing that I watched. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. I need to go back to this. I haven't finished the fucking boot camp. I should. I should. I watched like the 25 videos and then I kind of stopped. Working on something else. I think like he has a lot of expressions and he probably isn't an AI generated avatar. But when I'm looking at the other ones, they are really, really, really coded and robotic and something's weird. Something's weird about their movement. I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it. I really wish I could just find the thing that I'm looking for every time. Like it would be so much useful, so much faster. Maybe. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be, yeah, these two, to me, these two are not in the same room. Look at that. that head movement that she just did is going to do the exact same thing again. Like, there is a loop in her persona video, and then right now they filmed her only and the other one only. And so when one is speaking, the other one is not in the room, obviously. But they are, I think, combined in post, mainly because of how they don't interact with each other. The video itself gives us the ability to kind of guess that that's the case, but most of the time they are like not really interacting. And like these shots are so heads on with no movement, no thing. Like, look at that. Exactly the same head nod, exactly the same tone. It's crazy to me. Anyway, take a look at it if you want. It's really interesting as well. The content is good, but the video is. This one specifically made me think, well, they can't have everyone on set at all times. They could, but also it feels like it's not the case. So, uh, ah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Like when they are, and they are not often, but when you like, to me, it's really the blinking that is sometimes too frequent, sometimes too slow. It sometimes I don't know. Which again, this is like my conspiracy theory. I don't have like a tinfoil hat, but I should have one right there. Where it maybe Apple has image generation thing that is surpassing most other platforms. They just know that if it's available for other people, it's going to be used for nefarious purposes, and therefore they don't release it because they want to have as much safeguard as they can, because otherwise it's going to just burn them down. And it like just like when you switch from regular things to here, it feels so weird. It feels so weird. I don't know. They also have like things, as in the glass panels that are in the background, they do have people pass, or at least shape of people that pass walking behind the light and the glass to, I don't know, create movement in the background for either video purposes, or it's just like they are filming in the office and therefore some people have activities behind them. Get that, but it just, it's too clean. Everything's too clean. Yes. Denny, no, I don't really have. There is one that starts with a P that's gonna help you so much. Arena is similar. Mobbin is really good. But it's paid. Again, Pinterest is gonna be pretty good. But right now it's just filled with things. Postmo? You've probably seen that. Is it this one? Yeah. There This one is a bit of a discovery thing, which is similar. It's mostly like a Pinterest alternative. I forgot if it's free. I think it is. I think it is. But let me check. Let me check. There is like plenty of others. I just know that there is one specifically that I have in mind that obviously when I'm looking for it, I'm not going to be able to find anything for it. But, you know, we never know. Sometimes shit can happen. I kind of remember. No. Did I save that directly? That's what I did? That might have been. Might have been. Again, me being me, I know the fucking website starts with a P or has a P in it. And I have proposal in my head, which is not the name. And obviously, Referral is another one that is pretty good. I think it's half paid. You have access to the initial things, but you don't have access to everything. Like you can see the base, but not every screens. So that's something to know. And you just on the free tier, you just see like 3% of the full collection, which seems to be pretty good, but it's still like $8 a month, which is expensive. But they have like some of the cutest, they have some of the cutest icons for their collections. I like that. I like that a lot. But they contain a good amount of screens, but it's really limited really quickly. What specific type what specific type of content are you looking for? Like, are you looking for, Nicely Done is really good as well. Tools.design is really good, which you used Nicely Done for that, or you used Tool for Nicely Done based on the URL that you had. I think the rebrand gallery is really good as well if you are looking for rebrand and branding content. Most of these are video content, which is, pretty nice. But yeah, based on what you're looking for, there will be different preferences. You can kind of access with Mobbin. I think as soon as you are connected in, you have access to a bit of a greater range of content, and you can access the entire thing if instead of doing screens, you go with flows. Like, it's a bit of an annoying thing because you need to do that by hand, but you can go into, oh, well, I need this specific flow right there, so let me just take a look. That's an option. Might not be or give you the ability to go through everything, but yeah. I think in order to access the flows, you need to know which app it is. So, chat between two people, but in the business settings, negotiation. That's what you're looking for? Yes. There is a lot of AI helper for candidates right now that helps you and gives you like fake questions. They use audio as well to generate like a bit of a fake Google Meet call where an AI is there and will ask you a question, you will reply in the best of your ability, and then you have like a bit of an exchange that exists. Name, as always, but it's an option. I think it's a candidate training app. App or platform. If I could type, it would be good. Yeah, that might be the thing. You have like for candidate section, which is basically what you're trying to talk about right there, with a chat interface. So that could be something for you if you are looking for that. I've seen that before. I don't know about it, but that seems to be something else that exists. I guess, I mean, social talent is the same thing. Candidate FYI seems to be like something that has just popped out based on the fact that it's a .fyi. But yeah, like that seems similar. So I think it exists. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do anything about it. I think that if you want to build like a website or something that bank on this is probably a good idea as well. And it's, I think the one of the skills that you're currently missing, based on the question, is transposing content and transposing existing content to other app. So if I'm seeing that I need a very specific function in the app, I can abstract it from the existing content that I have. So for you right there, you said you want like a chat interface for negotiating and like a bit of a candidate slash hiring or manager employee discussion and have like this interface. You might in your head be stuck in that alone and not think about something else that would be similar, as in an online classroom that would basically do the exact same thing. You have a person of authority with a person of learning, unknowledged, a peasant in the classroom that needs to learn something and has to ask a question to gain knowledge from that authority figure that they have, which is the teacher. So that parallel is something that I can do in my head because I kind of go through a lot of things, but you should have done the same thing. I think you can do that. You have seen a lot of things already, but you might not have the automatism. Yeah, it might not be automatic on your end yet. The company, and they want me to do an assignment code test, and for that I need to log in system where they will record my entire screen, my camera and audio. I don't feel comfortable doing that. It's not an exam, it's just a code test. No, you are not weird. This is it, it I it it's weird unless it's a live code test. It's not an at-home assignment, which if it's live, I'm kind of fine with it. Like for example, the last interview that I kind of had, the whole interview was recorded so that they had like the ability to share it with someone else and be able to have like a bit of a thing. But Yeah. If it's like async and they want you to log into a platform that then record your entire computer, I don't know. It feels kind of weird. Yeah. I mean, being recorded, I don't really. If it's just a recording, I'm fine with it. The recording the screen is kind of weird. Um, One thing that I would potentially say is if you have multiple screens at home, including things that are heavy, and when I'm saying heavy is like 4K monitors and shit like this, and if you have like 5 of them, plug the 5 of them. These platforms usually can handle 1 or 2 max. So that's the thing that you can do, just to throw them off and say, well, that's my setup, that's how I work. Fuck off. But yeah, like it depends. But I don't know. Also, Kira, you haven't asked a question about the glass logo thing earlier. I mean, unless you did and I didn't see it, which is kind of sad. But if you don't feel comfortable being recorded, please um, don't. Just say that. Like, tell them, well, I don't feel comfortable being recorded. You can see that my skills are here, here, and that. If you have like another way to check if I have the skill that I'm talking about, feel free to give me something else. But otherwise, I think it's not going to work, and that's an option. Unless you really want to work at that company. But again, I think we are in the same realm of we don't want to work. We just want to be paid and do nothing, you know. What do you think you'd have to do to make your logo like glass, but to be able to animate the light? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I would just do that. I would go in here and I would go on the resources. Do we have the emojis? Is this the one? I forgot if that's the one. I don't think that's the one. No, that's not the one. I'm gonna need to go on his Twitter again. God damn it. This. Bones. Hi. Welcome on in. You see that? That effect that has the light that kind of shine? Well, that's basically what you need. You just need this as an effect, and this is a teeny tiny script that just recognize the high point and low points based on color and contrast ratio. And I would just have to put my logo in the center without the fucking zoom effect, because that looks like shit. But just have that here would be kind of enough. So, yeah, nothing. Again, absolutely nothing. Nothing is needed. Like, there is that. However, 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 this is only the light source. It is not the shadow impact. It's not really the same, but that works the same way. The calculation that needs to happen when you are doing this specific thing is, where is my cursor, which is usually around here, where is my element, which is usually somewhere around here, and then calculating the distance or the points in between the center of my element and the center of my cursor. And therefore, when I'm moving things around and I have my cursor that moves around here, the shadow is going to take that angle in the opposite side. So it's taking basically that and then placing the shadow on the other side with the amount of value. I don't know, the X and Y value difference. But yeah, that's basically what happens. You just calculate where the distance in between the center of one element to the center of your pointer, and then opposite the shadow. That's about it. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it is some of the simple calculation that you can do to get the output that you're talking about. God damn it. What do you mean? Register? No. So yeah, that's I'd say that's the thing. To go into more details, I think Costa has done something similar. Josh, hi, welcome back. How are you? How have you been? How's everything? Josh has been doing not Josh. Costa has been doing these, and specifically has been doing these elements with effects and transitions. And that's kind of similar than what you have in mind. They have done like shit like this, which would react with the shadow and the light and whatever react to the cursor. Uh, I don't know what a premium look would really look like. Every button, I want to make it better. Well, you're gonna be blown away. You're not gonna be blown away, but when we are trying to expand and explain the psychology of design, specifically websites, and how people perceive websites, we take examples on e-commerce, luxury websites, and business-related websites to kind of showcase some references. What makes things luxurious or premium is how minimalistic they are. And so if I go in websites that are meant for luxury, as in Cartier, it's a jewelry brand, to remove the image, that's what makes it feel premium. It's the quality of the photographies and the imagery, but also how minimal or minimalistic the things are. Because like these are as minimalistic as they can be. You just be there, and that is what is perceived as luxurious or premium. So if you want to make something that looks premium, you need to remove as much stuff as you can. And so there is like so many things that just are the same. But their website is just content based, like it's the images, but like the design is as boring as it can be, so that the content can shine, and that is the main goal. But everything is really, 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 really boring and really minimalistic. Look at that button. Look at that premium ass button. The thinnest border you've seen, and the thinnest font you've seen. You know, still feels premium. Specifically, that brand is premium. If I go on everything, like it's really luxurious brands, which is what we use as references for these, they are boring as fuck. Like, there's no going over that. It is as boring as it can be. And These ones have a bit of a graded background. Wow. Wow. And that's about it. That's about it. But yeah, like again, it's the same pattern. Pure black button on hover, black outline. So maybe that's what you need to do. Just make it better than this. But yeah, so that's premium. That is luxurious premium, quality, trusted, all of that. But if you want something that is a bit more creative, luxurious, as in interesting, this is pretty good. More complex to do. It's probably using some sort of a 3D renderer, as in 3JS or Blender directly. But there is like a ton of other options that also exist that can create similar outputs, but these are the references that, you know, could work as premium. They are not accessible though. It's just thought. If you want to add extra, I think the current stem on these, for example, from Mike is kind of interesting. Not much, but you know, adding something. It hasn't been like a lot of things, to be honest. Well, they already, that's crazy. But yeah, other than that, for the premium feel, like that overall design right here is to me a premium feel, based on the fact that it is very much bi-color minimalistic website. So yeah, and we've done. Did I do that? I forgot if I did. Um, I forgot if I did. Not that. I did it. I see. Well, Chris asked about button design 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I forgot. And we kind of did it live. I think I have the video somewhere on my editor to post, and I didn't. Again, same thing. Um, but it is really simple, and we use some of Jordan buttons. No, right there. Like some of these or these, which are JS. I mean, not even JS, just CSS. And again, it is very simple. It doesn't look like it is, I know, but it is extremely simple. And most of the one, I think the one that we tried to recreate were the glass, which are roughly these, but not these. Where is it? These. These are made in Figma and they are extremely simple. Like, again, it's just a matter of understanding how light work, and they are really, really simple. What I don't like about it is that they are the new trend, and therefore everyone is trying to do that, and they can't. Most people don't have the skills to achieve this level of details. And not much, but it's just a lot of layers to achieve. Like that whole thing. I don't even know if Jordan has like a. I think he does, but I forgot if he has. I called. I just want that person. Has he? No, he hasn't. He did not share, sadly, the fucking file, unless it's this one. I doubt it. You know, that's not the one. So, yeah, but these, again, these are really, really simple and it looks complex. So that might be something that make you feel like this is like a premium element. What? Where's my fucking free title file? Oh, that's you? You sent me a DM right there. Oh, yeah. That's a pretty impressive thing. I don't think this is a DSS only option, but it is really good. Yeah, however, I don't think Kira would want that. But that Camden is really good as well at creating weird ass illustration and transition. And so there has been like we've talked about this one before. We have seen other things, which made me laugh when they posted this one because it's good but not great. um, but yeah, like these things, eh. You see, I mean, they simple content, simple content. No. Going back to this because this is pretty, right? The basics of what this is simply that you get like a 442 apparently. I guess it's a 440, but yeah, based on the zoom. And in that thing, only have one gradient. So you get this with, that's new. You get this with this color, which is pure white. You make sure that it is a gradient that goes as far as this color. And that in the middle, we get, this is weird. In the middle, we get that point right there. And we ensure that it is exactly at 50%. Purely in the center. Right now, it almost feels like it's supposed to be around here, like 60% instead, just because of how it feels right there. It could also be not a linear, but radial that is like this and wider because it is like a rounded element. But I don't know. I'm unsure. Debatable. Nonetheless, you just get this with your big ass corner radius. Lost words. And then this is going to be outside at, I'm guessing it's going to be 10. based on the size. Maybe even, it's 10. No, it's 8. And that is going to take a gradient as well, where the end color is going to be much lighter for some reason. So similar, but the gray, the start of the gray is way down. So it's going to be where the elements are going to start dropping right there, right? You get this that starts, and that's my background shape. On top of that, you simply need another oval thing. So for the sake of this, we're going to use that. 416, apparently. That's not 416. That's a mistake. No, that's the mistake. You know what? I'm gonna eyeball it and it's gonna be fine. So then, because it's smaller, for some reason it is smaller. I don't know why it went smaller than this. Like I got the top, but I don't got the bottom. Right there, that's the thing. Yeah. Anyways, we don't really care about that. It's a detail. 416, roughly about this, and then that is going to be the same thing. It has a gradient, a very light gradient, but it has still a gradient that is going from here to here. And that's about it. The only thing that you need to have on top of that is a filled color icon. And in that filled color icon, I'm just going to use a circle for now, is taking a very specific type of color in the background. It's not white. It's a tad gray, and then it has this magnificent effect that is an inner shadow, which is going to be at 0% and blurred like crazy. So something like 40 of blur, to just give you a bit of a faded element in. And that is what gives you the backlit keyboard effect, basically, where the PVC or the plastic of the keycaps is translucent-ish. It's still white, but it's not really opaque, so you can still see some shadow from the paint or the other colors of the key. So double shot keycaps have this effect, and this is, I forgot how it's called. It has a very specific name on Blender, but that's basically it. The reason for that is that now you can just take these things and potentially say, well, bitch, and potentially say, this element right here is currently lit, and so you can just do that.
Ziegin design is now following.
Like highlight it, and maybe instead of having like an inner shadow, you can have a drop shadow that's gonna take that red, maybe a tad brighter, 0 in Y, and potentially like that. So it's currently bright, Likos, hi, welcome in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thanks a lot for the follow, I appreciate it. But that, like, again, 16 seconds. I'm lying. I am fully lying on this one. But it took no time. It took no time for us to achieve something that is really similar and kind of have like an effect that we wanted to have. For me here, in order for this to be bright and red, it doesn't need to be like fully full color. Fully full color? Are you crazy? It needs to be a radial, which takes the bright color on the outside and a bit of a lighter center to kind of Fine. Yes, fully full color. 100%. 100% fully full color. But I mean, you see how easy it is. Again, I know that I have the ability to see these things, so it's easier for me. But yeah, that's basically what you want to do. And then based on what you said earlier, if you wanted this thing to be responsive to your cursor position, um, let me create something quickly. So if I get that bitch, thank you, Napshi. Welcome on in. How are you? I hope everything is fine. Let me just place it, and then we're gonna do that. God damn it! Me and my AVS. Oh fuck! Oh, oh God! Damn! God damn! So, a very, very, very simple thing, without really paying attention. I'm gonna put a fully bright light element right there, with a stroke that has just a black background. Really, really, really simple. And then what we are going to do is rotate this to face that element, and then duplicate that frame, place this element on the other side, and rotate that to -30 instead of 30. But looking at the other side, you know, the usual. And the only thing that we want to do is take a prototype and say, from here to here, not on click, but on drag, it's going to be smart animated. And same thing on the other side, reverse, on drag, or while dragging technically. You have that, and guess what? As long as my cursor is in the thing, it follows through. So this is faking it inside of Figma to get the effect, but it works. That's pretty simple. That's pretty simple. It took me like 5 seconds. No, Figma doesn't really let me do HTML and CSS, but it gives me the ability to export this inside of the dev mode. To an extent, it gives me something, but it's not good. Like the output that I'm getting here is not what I would use in SwiftUI, for example. If you are using like HTML, you can do that as well. But it's not good. Like there is a ton of things in there that needs to be really specific, and having borders and gradients and things are not. And as you can see right here, like I have a lot of errors that are already showing there, saying, you can't really use that. So not great. But yes, you could have a base outcome. It's not great. I'm not gonna lie, it is not great, but it's there. And so if you want it, you can have access to something, but it's just, I wouldn't recommend ever. But if you just need that, it's an option. It's an option. Like right now, I have a background that is a color, which is not a gradient. So that is wrong. Here I have a background that is a color, but I don't have the effect. So I do not know how to transfer the effect that needs to go through. So all of that is really bad. And it's the same for Tailwind or other elements. So you would be better, personally speaking, to learn how Figma works and just, which I think you know, and just look at these and transfer in your head the values of that radial gradient is here. You have the stops, you have the X codes already. That should be enough for you to just get like the right content and the right outcome. But yeah, that's weird. What? Yeah, that's again, these are really, really simple to make. I know they look complex because of how good they look. I think what makes them look good is the inner shadow that is so subtle that, um, makes everything looks good. However, again, I'm saying however a lot. You're currently looking at it through the stream, so it's compressed. That's the first thing. Also, you're looking at it as a zoomed in element. I don't know what phone or desktop you're using, but the reality of the size for you is probably going to be something around here. If not even something around here. So size-wise, these effects are not visible. It's such a pain for no reason. But don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try it. I mean, I'm not against it, but goddamn, is it a pain and a waste of time? There. That we have something that is making more sense. Yeah, like it took no time. This is not going to be a video on YouTube, that's for sure. Because it's so simple. But yeah, you can 100% recreate something like this if you want something more premium, if that's what is in your radar right now. However, if you want something that is a bit more clear and glass, instead of making them metal, you can just do the other ones that we have seen. I mean, Danny has sent others, but basically, well, I should have just go back to bang. Yeah. Like, I mean, you see the amount of things inside of this. Like, it's just a lot of layers, and performance-wise, it's not really good. So, I wouldn't. But if that's your vibe and if that's what you want to do in terms of style and output for premium feel, you can go in the Figma community tab right there. Look for a small company called Apple. I know, not really known, but they do have a specific Vision OS 2 UI kit right there, which will give you basically these elements for free. You don't have to do anything. You have not the code, sadly, but you basically have everything in there with the examples, with how it looks, and you can just take a button, take a thing, take a floaty. They have a floaty right there, right, so that you can see how it's rendered and created. Yeah, that's a good thing. You got approved, Dabshi. Don't stop complaining. But yeah, you would have like these button type tooltips and other elements. And you will see how easy it is. This is just a single element with a blur background and a border. That is it. Nothing else. And the border has got, yeah, border got a linear gradient that just follows the angle of the cursor, or technically for these, the ambient light in the room. So it's supposed to capture and recognize that there is light source in some places. Technically, it's supposed to be here and there, and just reacts to this. But that might be a bit more complex. I don't know. Nonetheless, this is a pretty good link base thing. If you want to, that Vision OS file is really good. It's really good. But also this, if you just had or want to export their cursor thing, Framer thing, go into the preview and then see how it's made. I don't know, nor do I think you can access like most of these things and know how the div works in here. I'm probably thinking that this is like a JS stuff that is loaded somewhere, but you know, you might be, I mean, you have the event script right there, which is probably the thing. What? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, going back to this one, if you just want this tiny effect, that's an option. Lastly, I'd say if you don't want any of these, which is good, bitch name. Thank you. The chord pens of J are going to be really good, and that's the wrong key. And in there, you will have the code as well, which is always a good thing. So something like this, for example, which is something that he just created, just showcased at least, is a highlight of a radial gradient that serves as a light source that just follows you through where it is. And you can see the difference when I'm like hovering, not hovering the element, it lights the nearby pricing as like a bit of an edge lit element compared to the subscribe that doesn't, because the light source is too far away. So if I go into the newsletter, courses are going to be lit, but pricing and subscribe aren't. Chris, hi, welcome back. If I'm going here, like this one is lit, this one is lit as well. That's an interesting thing. Jay is really good overall, right? We've said that before. And they had... Send me back. I'm gonna kill people, and it's gonna be fun. Why is it working now but not before? Anyways, there are other things in there that could be used for you as references and or as element that you can, you know, use for your buttons, your attractions, your things. I'd say most of the things that are in there are unnecessary CSS and JS activities like that. I love it, but you love it though. Got it. You know, a bit of a custom weird score view. Ah. And he used to have a lot more things in Twitter. Not used to, but he does have like a lot of videos that showcase what he does and how the things are built. So if I'm going into some of the previous elements, like this, for example, where it showcase how things are, maybe not this one, maybe this one, um, basically showcasing how things are made based on location, grid, whatever. It's not the one that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the card thingy. Where's the card thingy? I need the card thingy. Like shit like this that he used to do more, where basically he showcased how the overall rotation of the content works and why you see the numbers rotate through by just showcasing the 3D transform that is behind everything. And that just works, you know. And it's interesting to see how he thinks about stuff and how he decompose the content. They usually showcase the initial rendering and then how it's made. So there is like a lot of other elements. Like I think this one has a decompose. I forgot. Nope. Used to have a decompose where basically showcase how in reality it is 3 layers that are on top of each other rather than just one. So these things are really good. Like this one is a decompose as well. But yeah, you know, good profile as well. Like a good thing to follow through and just be amazed by CSS people. Not necessarily just CSS people, but still mostly CSS. Jay is really good. There is plenty of people that do the same thing. So yeah. That's what I was talking about. That's so cool. That's built in. Technically for Figma, we would do half the layers. But in order to have that, like the bottom shadow that grows with the same gradient, we kind of need the same component for the shadow in the background. So that's a duplicate of the same image for us in Figma, and then the gradient on top. Yeah, that's about it. Like, it is so simple. Yeah, you can 100% do these things. It's just how much can you think of it, and can you think of it? Like, can you think of it in a way that makes sense to you and that your brain can wrap its brain around and make sure that you get it? Well, the light is coming from this side. The content is supposed to change, you know. That's the same idea. Like some of the thing that I kind of wanted to do in the beginning of this angle of camera for the stream, for example, was to have shit on this wall that would react based on the stream. So basically have an overlay that is 3D transformed to match the angle of the camera and the wall. And then I did that, I think, for 2 streams. And because I reorganized stuff so often, the angle didn't match between the camera and the wall. So I removed that. But yeah, that's a thing that I kind of did. And it's just a 3D transform, which is really, really simple. And it's really simple in OBS as well. But that's just something that you need to think about in order to figure out how to achieve this. So, yeah. Denny, I feel like you said something and I didn't see shit. Oh, and you meant for the rolling thing. I don't think it's spline. Based on the effect that we had on the ball itself being so grainy, I fear it is flat. I fear it's just like a rotation of the arrow and nothing else. Like the ball itself doesn't roll, but just the arrow itself is rotating across. So it might simply be, again, a 3D transform of that arrow layer. Yeah. I have plenty. If Twitter were not dead, which right now is the case, but if you go on my profile right here and you go on my media, if I think that's still accessible, and you just decide to scroll and let it load as much as it can, right now it seems to be able to go a bit further than expected, which is really good. Let me just repeat load more stuff. Come on, around, I guess here. There is things like that. No, there's things like that where you can see what I've done, but there is also the videos for each of the after creation. So most of these videos right here, you have the output as just shared, then you have the video time lapse of showcasing what happened, how it happened. It's usually condensed really, really, really fast time lapse. You can't really follow along. It's 10 minutes of recording through like stuff. The OBS stuff I don't really have. I think I have one. I think I have one video of something. But if you just want to see like these, you can go here and go just scroll down. On Discord, there might be. Might be. Either in the experiments or let me go back. So we've done this for transition, like ID for transition of scene transition, adding more people, changing, like this was the chat, this was the camera. It moved from having the chat at the bottom to having the chat on the right to having the chat on the bottom. It was a concept that we did. We had one specific, which I think is this one, which I'm really, really younger, but it has this kind of interesting chat overlay, which has a bit of a snake happening, which was really fun to create. not not the easiest, but also not the worst that we have created. It's fun. I think this one is the everything we've done with like different types of overlays, different uneven OCD stuff on this one. It kind of worked. I think I changed, not that. But yeah, I did change the scene collection, I think, at some point. Yes, I do. With another like kind of scene collection thingy, I think. It's been a while. This is 2022. It's been years. It's been years of thing. This is one of the most clean overlay I did, which worked, but also didn't. And it's basically what we currently have. Really similar. Basically, when I realized that the doc chat thing was a good idea, I just moved to that and never came back. So, yeah. This one specifically had blur effect and glass effect at the bottom. So I recognize how unimpressed I was at this point. But yeah, most of these are really, really simple. I kind of did this one as well, which was a concept, broke OBS twice, but still worked. And did this as well, which was a concept for chat would have the ability to control with channel points how much the camera would be zoomed in or zoomed out, but having like a range kind of slider that you would see like on stream. That was the main point that I had, making sure that we have potentially a handle that says this is where we are zoomed in. And the initial idea there was really, really simple, but yeah. How did I get it to not break? I didn't implement the thing. I moved on to a new, like, seed collection thingy. But this is a long, long one. And then I think after that, there wasn't much new overlays thingy. We did these. These were great. These were great. Yeah, I think I took the exact same pose right there, right? Same thing. I think that's mostly it for overlay related content. I think I kind of stopped after that. Yeah. Basically, in the beginning of the stream in 2022, I did one new overlay per month. So I changed the entire visuals of what you can see right now, with having potentially the chat on this side, or having the chat at the bottom, or the camera in a different format, or something else. And I kind of I could go back to some of my first overlays because most of the new people that we have in stream right now don't know and haven't seen them. But for me, it feels kind of weird and wrong. But yeah, the thing that is pissing me off personally is the amount of setup I have in terms of Atom, StreamerBot, OBS, other things on my computer that are running that are like tied together to an extent that is not supposed to happen. That is like such a pain to go through the entire thing again and remove stuff. Like, I don't know if you remember, you probably don't, but when I was in Japan, my stream theme was controlled by you. You could change the color for a white, not a white stream, it's like a dark mode and light mode stream. You could have a green stream and an orange, blue, different colors based on channel point redemptions, really simple things. But the fact that now, if I wanted to do this again, I would need to go through so much teeny tiny changes to rename content, ensure that I redo the entire thing in Atom that works with the colors. Such a pain. I will, because that overlay that we have right now is pissing me off already. It's been 3 months and it's been too long. I need to change it. So it will change, but I don't know exactly what I want yet. So I'm gonna wait until I have like a bit of an inspiration session. Yeah. Yeah. I think if simply like Atom had voice control, like voice activation for my technically, or other words I'd say, if that was built in Atom, I would transfer the entirety of the stream to Atom. And that would be great. Would be great. Like, I think they will. I think the built-in overlay system is going to happen. Just because this is an assumption, I don't know, but just because of the sponsorship that they have, the partnership that they have with own.tv, which is already creating overlays and things, and the fact that Harris Heller, Senpai Gaming person, is now like a big investor and also the person to try to boost the Atom community. It is already really, really invested in own.tv, in Meld, in other platforms. But I feel like this is going to come in at some point. To me, for us, I think what we need is basically a browser that can stream rather than a streaming platform that can have browser source. Like I think if I could have the entirety of my stream as a Vite application or a Svelte build, I would, and then have the entire thing through browser source in OBS. Like if that was an option, I would, but it's not. Yes, there hasn't been an update in a while for Atom because Dust is deep in sub-level work that is not Atom related at the moment. So yeah, yeah. I'm not saying the overlay. I'm saying the camera, uh, like everything. I just want the whole thing to work. But just because you could have access to so much more than what OBS provide, I think it's pretty simple. But yeah, I don't think it would be that difficult to do. I think it's mostly something like uh, what's the name? Electron? No, the other one, the new one. Um, what's the name of the new one? Not Electron, but the second one. You know what I'm talking about? Um, that thing that is basically a browser wrapper that you can launch on your machine. That they can access like your camera, your mic, your things, and so that could work. Rebirth, hi, welcome back. How are you? Oh, you bit. I have long hair. Yes, yes, I do. Yes, that is true. Yes, that is true. They have grown a tad, um, just a tad. So, if you, I think, if you had like a browser-based app, you could have access to everything, and then you could have basically something going through the RTPM protocol to get the stream. No, I mean stream not from OBS, but stream from a browser to Twitch. But I mean, there is no dumb question in OBS. It's a bit complex, so please ask. Ask away. Also, tape on your camera makes sense. It's bad for your screen, but I mean, makes sense. OBS is pretty simple. Specifically now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie on this one, but the newer interface is way more accessible than the previous ones. And most of the thing that we want to have here is just based on the Canva. You have the size of the elements, the rotation is the rotation, the position alignment is the position of the anchor of that thing. So by default, it is top left, like the same thing as you have in CSS. Your anchor point is always the top left corner. And if you change that to any other, top center is going to be top middle, top right, center, left, center, center, at the right, and then bottom. That changes your anchor point, which is really useful for some transition animation. But you need to remember that these things needs to be changed on every source and every scene to work for the transition. Then you have the bounding box. If there is like a bounding happening, which is not necessary usually, the alignment of the bounding box happens when you have a bounding box. And then you have the size of the bounding box, which happens when you have, you guessed it, a bounding box. And at the end, you have the crop, which is basically what happened when you have, I don't have it here, not on this scene, when you have the these, like the green thing that says that this is cropped. This is gonna be like the crop here, bottom 98. So yeah. I wish I could like be on Windows and spin up like a new version of OBS and run it so that I can show you how to do stuff, because it's way easier, but I can't, which is sad. But yeah, no, it's to me it is really, really simple. I can't on studio mode. It would be kind of complicated to see on my side, because remember, this is a 15-inch 16-inch screen that you're seeing right now. I don't have a second monitor. Can't really do anything about it. And I'm not saying like other things, but it depends. What do you mean by when you want to make dynamic things? what dynamic things you want to do. Because it's not that complex to work on OBS, and specifically it as soon as you have move transition to do these types of transition, for example, that I have, that that was breaking to the extent that it's not supposed to happen. Much better, I pressed too fast. And these transitions, these make sense, and they are just based on move transition. Um, hmm. So you want to create the alerts directly inside of OBS and not somewhere else. For example, the thing that I have here when I have someone new that chats. Yeah. Well, this one is a bit of a pain in the ass, and the reason why I hate it is overall the fact that it is text based is not gonna work. Like it's such a pain to have something that is resizing to the text inside of OBS directly. This is the most annoying thing. But if you wanted something that works, like the dynamic island of Andy, which is similar to the one that I have at the top of my screen, it is basically center top or center for your anchor points for most of the content, and then it needs to resize properly. The thing is the profile picture is not going to work. You need to do that instead. You need to have a crop. You need to have yeah. I mean, there is a reason why I haven't done it inside of OBS directly. Again, we used to have, if I'm going back to not that, sorry, wrong thing. I'm going back to this and go back to some of the first thing. We had that this was made directly inside of OBS and was an alert that just popped in, slided in, if there was a sub, if there was a follow or something, and based on the content, some of the blocks were displayed and some of the blocks were not displayed. The way that I had this organized was with that's nice. Was with the move transition plugin on OBS directly to say if follow move from point A to point A2. If sub move from point A to point A3. And then trigger different elements one by one. But that was just to just do the thing like straight up in JS rather than attempt again do any of these here. Like again, even this thing that is the follow count is an image with the background, and the number is a browser source that calculate the numbers instead of having the text being like a viable inside of streamerbots. So yeah, it's just such a pain. I think everything in browser source is going to be much better. Like, for example, my doc, which is where my chat is, this is a browser source. My alerts, everything are browser sources. My follow count, as I just said, is a browser source in the center, which I know it feels kind of weird, but that's how it is. Some of my sound alerts, which you have never heard of, are there. I think the only thing that is not a browser source right now are the bitch box and shits automated. because these basically go through Atom and trigger at random the visibility of one of these, and then trigger the reset. So that's a fun thing in Atom. The one of the things that is also kind of annoying um, is in terms of work to do to achieve like complexity and JS based overlay browser source widgets things. OBS does contain a browser that is kind of limited. It's not that good, and you don't have the capabilities of most things, anyways, inside of it. So you need to think about your everything in a way that makes sense. Like for example, my chat is broken 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, and then I fix it every time. But you know, it's the fact that OBS doesn't allow for maintained data across streams. Like as soon as your app crash, as soon as your app closes, as soon as you do something that is not supposed to happen, your cache is going to be resetted. Or if you click the button without really paying attention, that happens. It's a pain. It's a pain. So what Stony said multiple times to me, which I agree, I agree. I need to follow the advice again. I would need to have my entire like browser sources for the streams hosted on my domain so that I can access that. I have a live server running at all times that just validates my stuff. And so what Stream Element or Own.tv or other platforms like this have is they have their servers that just run all the times for validations and authentication. That's something I can't really do right now because I don't have the skills, first of all, but I also don't have the server running. So, yeah. But for the work overall, I don't think it's a lot of work to achieve um, a personal owned stream overlay that just works that could be shared with other people. And no, I don't really like Stream Elements. I mean, I do. I have most of my thing in Stream Elements, like the number 2 right here is a Stream Element browser source. The usual chat is a Stream Element browser source as well. But yeah, like the alerts when someone is following the channel and there is something happening on top of there used to be something happening on top of the chat on the Stream Element chat. But that's a Stream Element event as well. So it's good. It's just clunky. And if I go and show you how it is, because I can, think my. Did I press the wrong button again? No, it's just this bitch is silent. I see. If I go into my overlays and oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, wrong account. Wrong account? Wrong account? No. There. I think that's I think that's the one. I'm not sure. No, that's not the one. God damn it. That it might be. It is. So this is basically like the the whole thing of how Stream Element works for my alerts to kind of be triggered and be good. But the reason why it works and the reason why it always works is because this thing works through Stream Element API stuff to go fetch my username and all the rest of the thing that it needs to do. But working in the code in there is such a pain. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, just because it's just bad. I'm not a dev, so I don't really mind, but it's just not good. Uh, not good at all. Not good at all. Um, so yeah, that's basically what it is. So me too. Me too. Like right now, the only person in here that kind of knows the API stuff is Stony because he's done that many times. And yeah, it's just it, yeah, no. Right now, it is easier for me to just don't do anything and just play with these things and be good with it. But yeah, like all of these Stream Elements blocks and teeny tiny alerts, and it's been a while. It's been a lot of content. Um, yeah. Oh damn. But yeah, other than that, so going back to what I was saying, if you want to have something that like if you're here, you're lurking, please type in chat just to have the thing show on top of my head so that we have the example. If you haven't chatted just yet, like if it's your first message, but uh, that element needs to have an animation, which right now I can't do directly. So I'm kind of stuck with having the image kinda of the username first letter and then the name next to it in a calculated above size of container and then displayed. But yeah, you should. I mean, you can't do anything as a lurker. As soon as you chat for the first time, there is an event that is triggered that launch an animation that is just above my head. So if you have chatted already, you can't. You need to be a new chatter, or you need to follow. I mean, not follow, but like just new chatters. Is the check-in type of thing, so that if it's your first time in the stream, we have like the count, and it's pretty useful. It's pretty useful. I know if the person has been here before. Um, yeah, not like the first time, but like the first time for the stream. And it counts, and then you get confettis when you reach 10 streams in a row. Not in a row, but like 10 stream back to back. So on. Fun stuff. But yeah, that thing is a bit of a complex element. You know what? I may have an ID. You need to be there 10. You need to be there 10 streams, and then you will have something. Thank you. So, ID. Brian said, you know what? Maybe. If we have our, oh, that's tiny. If we have our alert with an A, bitch, and the text right there, and our alert text right there, and the secondary font underneath, instead of using enter, it is going to use block. You could have something that gives you the ability to get, let's put that in, I don't know, for no fucking reason. You could get this font to be bigger to the extent that it makes sense, and say, because we know that the difference in font is going to be character-wise, I mean, right? Maybe this is what needs to happen, so let's just change that to that, whatever. It's the first 5 characters with this bitch. You could say, maybe, you know, you get the first 6 characters, and then you get the profile picture set to the right side or left side or whatever, wherever you want it to be. But that way, both of these text strings inside of OBS would have the same values overall, and you would have a background that resize based on this element. So if I take, I guess I could even do that. Like if they were like this, for example, you basically have an offset that is almost centered, and then with the help of something like advanced mask or some other option, you may have the ability to get like some radius. But that's option number 1 that I have in mind. Option number 2 is that in here, if you're on Windows, I know that it doesn't work on Mac, but if you're on Windows and you add a text element that just says something, it could, as far as I remember, we used to have the ability to get like not a drop shadow, not a outline, but like a background, and that isn't an option anymore. That's really sad, and I wish it was on Mac, but it's not. So yeah. But that's a thing that is available on Windows. If you're on Windows and you're streaming on Windows, you can have your text resized properly, and then you just need to place a certain amount of spaces before, if you want to enclose the profile picture inside of your container. But that's an option, because you have like your margin padding things top and bottom that can also be counted. So you should be able to do that. But this is another option to get like multiple fonts by using one of the block fonts type that exist. But also that's fully broken. It's fully broken. But yeah, potentials. No, I don't have a list of my favorite fonts. The font that I use most of the time is this one, which right now obviously doesn't fucking work, which is Mark. FF Mark is one of my favorite fonts, personally speaking. However, it is expensive. More than you think. FFmpeg is a really, really geometric font that has so many amounts of variation without being a viable font. And I do love everything and how it looks on the outside. Thing is, it's that expensive. Uh, I used it many times for clients in the past. It's really good to just tell them, "Oh yeah, that's a font." The thing is, that's the personal users kind of thing. It's not the type of license that is going to be the web font type, because the web font system is a bit more expensive because it's based on views. And god damn, is it expensive? I think we had it at 5K one time. I was one. So FF Mark is one of my favorite thing. I'm using Palmer Lake often as well. Just because it's pretty handy, as the name implies. Um, Palmer Lake is a very, very handwritten font that I like to use for, well, handwritten activities. Um, and it's kind of cute, but yeah, it's a very simple one. It doesn't have accents, which is kind of sad, but it has most of its letters in capitals, and that's fine. But as a French person, we do have a ton of accentuated, accented, with accent stuff. Survival, fine, work on it. Why is this button not working? Um, Also, you saw the fucking thing above the stream, and I didn't point it out. My dumbass. Yeah. But yeah, that is pretty good overall. Is Yes, it was a white circle because survival names is white, and I didn't do if white then initial was supposed to be black. It's just yeah. Takes the user's scholars. But yeah, this one is more accessible because it's... Other than that, because I'm using Creative Market most of the time for my fonts related research and activities, I'm just using whatever is available, and some of them are good, some of them are not good. It really depends on the use case. I don't have fonts I hate. I don't have fonts I will never use. I have used some of them way too much, as in Lobster, Poppins, Montserrat, Lado, all of these regular fonts. I have been using them for like 8 years, 10 years for some, 15 years for others. So, you know, I don't, I, it, yeah, I've just been using them too much that I can't anymore. But yeah, other than that, regular recommendation, if you want to look for new fonts. Font share is really good. It's using most, if not all, Google fonts. Like, these fonts are open and available for free, and these all, I think, I'm unsure now. But they are viable fonts. So you have the ability to have like a bit of a greater granularity of flexibility in the font itself. So Satoshi is one of the one that is currently extremely popular across the board. But there's like a ton of others that have like different styles, activities, and other details. I love Bespoke, and the Bespoke series overall is really, really good. There is Tanker, which I like on for specific like cyberpunk fonts activities. This is what I use just because it works. It just has regular though, which is the other side. But it's a working thing. And there is like Brittany or where's this one? Yeah, Brittany. Brittany is really good to me just because it has this car vibe, like all the car vibes. It's really neat. It is really neat. But yeah, most of these fonts here on Phone Shares are going to be free and accessible and viable. So that's good, I think. Yeah, most of the viable thing is pretty useful. Haven't had it much more though. Evo is new. Pop-ins, I hate it. That's me. I used it too much. Webas is good for some things. Montserrat is the one that I used before in my previous company, so I like it because it works. Montserrat just works. It's really good. It's the same thing as Enter, and Manrope is the current replacement for Enter directly. So if you're someone that likes that, that's an option. Yeah, no, I don't have favorite fonts. I don't care enough to have favorites. I do need to know the fonts, which, you know, that's useful. But other than knowing that right now, for example, I was looking for this, which is Goldplay, which is really good for how it looks. But it's not a free font. It's not. It's cheaper, but still. But I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And there is a ton of them because I was looking for an addition for a script font to add to the app to make something like a personal note from me to you. You could read something that I wrote myself. And so using a font like this would be really, really good. At least I think. But it's the same thing. Like that's going to be more complex to get. And apparently this one is not available there. So that's really, really, really annoying. But yeah, they think this would be amazing. This would be amazing. Because they take a lot of time. It's a lot of knowledge to build a font. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's a lot of knowledge to build a good font that works. And the support implies a ton of characters, a ton of specifics, ligature, transitions, alternate letters here and there if you want something that is a bit more natural. For example, you may have the ability to say, my E right here is a lowercase and my he right here is a not lowercase. So potentially there is a system inside of the font that says if there is an E on the row, already one of them needs to be lowercase, the other one needs to not be lowercase. So I don't really know how it works, but that might be the case. The other thing is Glyph is the app we use to create fonts. There are versions that are free of similar tools, but this one is $300 for the full package. If you want the mini version, it's just 49, which is good enough if you just want to build like a regular font. Leaf is already $300, so you kind of need to offset that cost of buying the software and using the software in your sales. But you may say, well, if I sell font for $50 and I sell 6 of them, I recouped the price of the software, and then the time that it will take to make a full font is probably going to take a month or 2, depending on how much details you want to put in. That's like a lot more expensive. So you need to sell like 1,000 to 2,000, 10,000 version of a $50 font to recoup your investments per se. That's a lot. So the more expensive makes sense and usually happens when the font themselves have a lot of sizes or a lot of settings, a lot of properties, as in Mark, FF Mark that I showcased earlier, has 61 font weight from italic, not italic, condensed, not condensed, extra thin, extra thin, to black. All of that range of things is basically taking a lot of time because you need to redo the entire thing every time. Like you need to go through the font itself and redo everything vector-wise to make sense. But Glyph overall helps a ton because it has like built-in stuff to help with bolding, italic, and other activities. Make things work better. But that's kind of the reason why we have such expensive fonts, because it does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of time to think about accentuating all of your your accent based on it's not just on the A, it happens on E, U, O, and then some readings have them underneath and not above. Think about all that. But yeah. And the glyph is really expensive though, but it's really good. So that's the reason. I've made a font at some point. I don't know if it's still installed on my computer. I doubt it. Now that I'm thinking about it. Bitch, why are you so tiny? Why are you so tiny? Yeah, I don't have it anymore. But yeah, we made a font with one of my coworker just because she liked to have like handwritten notes on her presentations, and we tried to find something that was a bit similar to what her handwriting was, but we didn't find something that was good enough for her point of view, my point of view. So basically, we just created a font. Yeah, we used one of the systems of Illustrator to vectorize handwriting from a piece of paper, and then transfer the SVGs to Figma, use Figma to generate a font using a plugin. So that most of the thing was free. That was 6 years ago, yes. I mean, technically now it was almost 8 years ago. It was 2018, so that's not 6. But Do it. This is the beginning of 2018. But yeah, it's been a while. It is. It has been a while. I have the file. I don't. I probably have some pictures. Somewhere around here, probably. Probably. I might have deleted these. Oh. Nope. What is this? Because if I find the fucking picture, you will know exactly the date. Which you don't care, but yeah, it was when I kind of joined one of my previous company, and been a while. I'm guessing not there. So we are saying somewhere around here, maybe around up. Doubts. I just found a sweet potato. That is not it. Yep, obviously can't find it. God damn it. This is such a recurrent theme. Why is it so hard to find stuff? God damn. That's when I went to Sweden. That is not the thing that I'm looking for. Yeah, well, I guess not. I guess you won't see the font. Unless, no. I don't want to close this specific screen before I scrolled to the point where I know that it's not going to be there for sure, because that person got fired from the company. So after that point, I know that it's not going to be there. But for now, I can't find it. Yeah. Done. Nope. They are not in there. Not in there. Anyways. Other than that, I've done that, but it was a long time ago, so that's different and more complex than anything else. You have the ability to create something with the trial period of glyph if you want to. I think as far as I remember, there is a version of that exists. But it's not I mean it's good, but it's not good enough for creating a full font. Like you will still have some watermarks and other things. You are limited in the amount of characters, which is annoying. So yeah. The thing that is fun in terms of pricing is a Japanese font or Chinese font that is going to have 8,000 to 20,000 characters is usually costing less than a bitch ass French font with 26 characters. So yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, but that's a thing. That is a thing. Yes. God damn. I see. I am dying. So yeah, other than that, I don't have any other fonts that comes to mind, like immediately that says, "Oh yeah, you like that font a lot." I mean, there are stuff like Goku and Kaiju, which are fonts from a specific user creator that has been doing that, and I just bought them and I like them a lot because of how they look, but they are not usable fonts for anything other than print. Um, Bosworth, hi, welcome in. How are you? How's everything? Like Goku is a really good font. I like it a lot, obviously, because I bought it. Mm. But it has like such a simplistic yet luxurious feel that would work for anything kind of rounded, for logo or for non-business card, but like a greeting cards, a farewell, Happy New Year type of things, and it's it's really nice. And the other thing, the reason why I bought everything is because he had the creator had like a full package with all the fonts that he has created at some point, and so I have uh, most of these in like including the Kenjo and Kaiju fonts, which are really interesting and simple, but they still all have this similarity, I would say, where some parts are really big and some parts are really thin. That's really, I like that. Like that in fonts. Like these are really nice to have like exactly that purpose of encapsulated fonts together, encapsulated words. Well, like these ligatures are gonna make a lot of sense. So, you know, interesting. Not the best fonts. Again, not usable for most UI, but really good for greetings, events, posters, things like this. So, like I like this one as well. It looks really good. It looks really good. I see. That's really cool. That is really cool. It is black fonts in general or black lettering are pretty interesting. They tend to all look the same, and this one has a bit more curve than the regular ones, which I like. Bit better, and also the creator obviously have the understanding of how to showcase his creations in a way that makes you think, oh yeah, that's different. So it's really nice. I mean, it's nice to see for the creator all the time. You know, nice. It's nice. But yeah, most of one of the things that I don't like about the newer generation of fonts is that most of them are this. Not this one. This one is the W a bit better, a bit different and better. But Most fonts today are that come out as a new font. They are mostly geometric with a hint of uh, Roboto extravaganza slash Inter, and I'm like, yeah, it's good for UI. It's really good for UI. Nothing to say other than that, but I don't know, do something new. Not that person. That person has done enough of new. Yeah. And again, going back to what I said earlier about me having like fonts inside of Pinterest, this is also something that happens uh, to be really, really, really useful for me. The appreciation tabs on someone's profile. So when I'm going into someone's like on Twitter, that used to be an option, but on Behance, same thing. Someone that creates fonts usually have a ton of other fonts that they haven't created, but that they used as reference or inspiration for their creations. There is a ton of good thing in there that I really recommend you to check. And some of them are just like not necessarily good. Some of them are not your styles, but a lot of times you have like things that are just good and things that are just like way different than what you would expect from that person likes elements, like ass. No. Like other elements like the mouse pad earlier or the architecture things that we saw a second ago. Like this thing is just it's weird. It's just weird. Is it cool? Yeah. Do you think someone that likes font will like that? Never. Still good. It is still good. So all that is also really, really good to follow through and check what other people likes, and specifically people that you enjoy might like things that you might enjoy too. And going back as far as you can will bring you to some of the initial elements that they started with, if you can. This is kind of limited. For example, you would not you would not be able to reach the first liked post from me because Behance had a limit of how much liked posts you could have. And if you liked something new, the first one you liked was removed to keep track of things. So I lost probably 5 to 8 years of likes on Behance until they extended the amount. It's really sad because I had much good things in the beginning. Yeah, like all of these things, maybe good, maybe bad, I don't know, but interesting nonetheless. So look at these. Look at the appreciation from people. Yeah, nice. But yeah, this, for example, looks like it would be a simple font. You can see how many variation of the same letter there is just to keep the design interesting when you're typing. Like maybe there is a system that says it's like this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, for all of the Ks, all of the Ps, all of the Qs. I don't know. Maybe there is an alternate thing that says this is for a specific type of font sizes. Maybe it's something else. But that might look like a very simple font, but result in a ton of content that needs to be created. This is a really good presentation of font as well. So take a look at it. Get inspired. Get inspired. Always, always look at things that you think you wouldn't like. It's pretty nice. Like again, the architecture thing that is right there is illustration plus architecture at the same time, and bit of a plague doctor thing. It's in their likes in the middle of someone that just does fonts. So, yeah, now different. Or chocolate. You like chocolate? I like chocolate. Fun stuff. Hey, this is great packaging overall. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is great packaging. I don't think I would be able to cut that chocolate. That would mean that I would need to eat the entire thing in one go. I'm fine with it, but I might want to share some points. Maybe not. Maybe not. Like I might be able to cut like that, follow the fucking line, but then after a certain amount of time, like that, I just eat everything. That's bad. That's not on the line. I can't do that. These are cute. They're cute as fuck. God damn. That's neat. I'm seeing so many details, so many things. Apparently they like chocolate. Or maybe they did one once and then it happens. I've been looking at these often as well, like the whiskeys and other drinks. Their packaging is usually really, really good, and they change. They try to do something that is standing out because the only thing they can do is have their labels stand out on the shelf. Unless they are really, really known brands, in which case they don't really give a shit and most of their packaging is really boring. But if you are a brand new whiskey company that is trying to stand out, well, having a bit of a piece of art on your shelf makes a lot of sense. I think I can show you this one. Just empty, sadly, but you know. That's a really cool looking piece right there, which has gold and illustration and kind of certificate number that because it was like a limited edition, I have the 11 out of 200 and 11th technically. And I think I talked about that before, but the reason why I have it is because I was fucking the person that made the illustration at the time she made the illustration. So I kind of helped. And that bird specifically is has been made at the same time I designed my own bird tattoo, which is on my chest. It's kind of fun to have, knowing that it's a limited edition. No, I did not fuck the bird. I think if you go on you go here. Instagram is so slow. Slow. You've seen that before. God damn. So slow. Kitty. I did this one at the same time that we were doing, like trying to find the right birds for the bottle specifically and making sure that we had enough options. So in the sketches that we made, this one came up on my side and it looked pretty nice. And I kind of kept it. Yeah, it's been it's been a bit. It's been a bit. Yeah, right there. I don't think I have any other thing that is, I mean, not any other thing, but I don't think the other one is as visible as this. What do you mean? Why is it always, we always have a titty? Not that it matters, but yeah, you kind of can see it when we did this one. Um, but yeah, right there. With the flowers. Mm, yeah, I see things. I don't think you should. No, I know, I know. Um, I get it. Also, am I turning into a slideshow again? What the fuck happens? Mm. I know what happens. I closed the camera roll app. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. God damn. Interesting. Um, I think if you want more tattoos, you should get more tattoos. Because at the end of the day, it's you. You like your tattoos and you're good with it. Do that. Um, I fear that if you don't do it, you might regret not doing them just because you want more. And, you know, that is not good. But I get it. I get it. I understand. I understand. What the fuck happened? What the hell happened? I thought, I thought, I was wrong. God damn. God damn. Well, it's fine. I am going to send you to Cat just because it's Friday and usually it's Clark, but Clark is not live anymore. What happened? Interesting. With coffee? This time. I know what it is. I know what you mean. Yeah. Thanks a lot for being here. As always, this is the end of the stream. Appreciate you being here. I am so tired. The VOD is going to be on YouTube. Maybe there will be something else on YouTube. I don't know yet. I need to edit some thing we done today. Potentially, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If you have questions and I'm not live, as always, join the Discord. That would be highly appreciated. I'm currently dying. The social media if you want to stalk me, and the schedule is as such as I shall be back on Monday unless I'm dead by tomorrow. We never know. We never know. We never know. Things have been said. As always, if you want to learn Japanese, go to class, but also use cat, real good. And if you want to give me money, you can sub here, but it's not necessary. Would rather you buy something and get something in return. Would be way much better. Anyways, take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm sorry, Cat is currently playing League of Legends. So, yeah, that happens. Anyways, bye.